Y'all just don't know how bad I want to just come out with the song. I'm live at 5. Y'all, I know I'm not live at 5, but I'm 5 years old and I'm so excited to be here today. Thank you guys so much for joining me. It's a celebration. It's my 5th year anniversary. Yes. Y'all know I love to sing too. I'm so excited to be here in this space with you. First, I want to say thank you so much for those of you who've been popping in here each and every hour. We still got more to go. I'm just saying. And the person that's coming up right now, she is a powerhouse. I invited her for the first time for the 12 days of Christmas, and y'all couldn't stop talking about her. So I was like, well, let me go ahead and bring her back so she can come up in here and help y'all get y'all complete life. So definitely drop your name and stuff in the chat. Let me know that you're out there. Thank you for the anniversary. Congratulations. Yes, 5 years in business. So excited to be serving women, to have careers that they really love, to answer the calling that God has placed in their life, and to build the courage, confidence, and competence to accept, believe, and commit to what it is that God has called them to do. And I'm just so excited that you guys spending your Saturday with me. And I'm so excited for our next guest. And before I get into that, let me go ahead and prep you so you can get ready. Go ahead and get your notepad, your pen, get ready to stay up inside this chat. Make sure you share the videos. Okay, so some of you guys told me that you shared in the last video. So let me tell you where you got to share from. So you got to go to the business page. If you're sharing in the private group, you're not really sharing. You're just sharing to the people in the private group because it's private. So you can't share outside the group. So you got to go to Deneen Merriweather, the business page where I got the pink jacket on, and I need you to share from there, okay? So go back to them videos and share and tell me that you shared from that page, okay? So I can enter you to win because I'm giving away something at the end of the day, and I want you to be, your name to be in the hat. But in order for you to be in the hat, you got to share the videos, all right? So look, without further ado, I want to introduce my next guest. She is here to assist you with this conversation that legacy matters. Put it inside the chat. Legacy matters. Legacy matter. Without further ado, let me go ahead and bring up my next guest. Janel Pulley, are you in the house? Are you in the house? How you doing today?
I'm well, Deneen. Happy anniversary.
Oh,
Yes, 5 years, half a
yes,
decade. That's amazing. So,
half a decade.
congratulations, sis. You are
Half
truly
a
blessed.
decade and 5-figure business. I'm so excited for that, right? It took a minute. I remember them first years, y'all. It was low. It may have been like 9,000, 11,000. And then it just
Yes.
steady, it was just steady creeping up, but it's good now, y'all, and I'm so excited. So I thank you so much for the people that invest in me, people like you, Janelle. Thank you for being a partner, for being a part of this community, for also investing in the program, becoming the change, and being in this space. And hopefully you feel like you're doing things that you hadn't been doing before, and that you're actually going after things in your business more than you ever have before. Thank you so much again for trusting me. Thank you, Tiffany, for the anniversary wish. Thank you for being here in this space. I'm just so excited for you to have this conversation with my community. So in a second, I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself. And then after your introduction, we'll do a little more chit chat, and then I'm going to leave and let you do your thing, okay? But please, at this time, introduce yourself to my community. Let them know what it is that you're doing and who you are, of course.
Yes, well, I'm Janelle Pulley, and I'm an author of Money Just Flew Out the Window, How to Create a Relationship with Wealth, Living from Paycheck to Paycheck. I reside in the Atlanta metro area with my spouse, and I help families downsize their debt and create a legacy for their families. And I'm with people with downsizing their debt and legacy planning and just really preparing themselves and their families for the future of how they really want it to be. And it may not be in current state like it is, but we'll plan for the future and the dreams will be realized and we'll tap into those dreams and of what people value and then put them on the trajectory to where, they can wake up and not be stressed whenever they go to
Mhm.
their workplace.
I know that's right, girl. Who want to be stressed? I know who don't want to be stressed about money. I know I don't want to be stressed about money. I just want to know that it's flowing and it's flowing into the right places, and that I can get it to flow continuously with
Yes.
the least amount of effort as possible. Meaning, I want to be making great decisions with the money that I'm earning, so it can start working for me. So,
Yes.
look, Janelle, again, I appreciate you coming. Thank you for being here. It's your second time in this community. Again, my community kept talking about you, so I had to invite you back. So definitely continue to bless them with the great information that you have. I know it will be a great conversation. So I'm going to go ahead and leave this space and give you an opportunity to teach us about why legacy matters. Thank you
Well,
again.
thank you, Deneen. Thank you for the opportunity. And hello, everyone. I just wanted to share a little bit about me. I was, raised in the state of Missouri in a rural community. And it was really fun spending my summers with my father's parents, my paternal grandparents, and just really getting that foundation. They were farmers. My was a farmer. His dad was a farmer. His grandfather was a farmer. So it's like this history of farmers, and we'll talk about how it's important to plant the seeds with your financial wealth that you have created so far. I created the book, Money Just Flew Out the Window. How to create a relationship with wealth, living from paycheck to paycheck, for a reason. As growing up, we were told many things about money. Money doesn't grow on trees. The root of money is evil. So all of those different topics and chapters are in my book. And so I would love for you to check it out. I explain, what that means. But my father planted the seeds in a patch of the farmland, and he had me and my siblings to work that land. And he says, well, I could spend this money on fertilizer, or I could pay you to go out and work the crop, meaning you take a garden hoe, and we removed all of the, it's like real organic farming, y'all. Removed all of the weeds and everything so that the plants can grow. And we had a patch of watermelons. After the watermelons grew, someone removed them from the field, and they were put on the back of my dad's truck. We ended up going to several communities and selling watermelons from the back of my dad's pickup truck. Me and my sister knew how to make change, because all the time growing up, there was opportunities for us to learn. It's like, hey, did you get back the right amount of change? My mom would send us whenever those sales would happen, and you get those folders for like a nickel a piece, and she's like, okay, here's some money for you. And each of the children had to go, and we had to get our 10 folders, for a nickel a piece. And then, because you had a limit, right? And so we learned, did you get the right change back? Did they count it back to you? Did you count it back to yourself so that they gave you the right change? So all of these money lessons, were happening as along the way as we were growing up and as we were doing various things. So on the back of the watermelon truck, that's where I got my sales experience. And hey, you want to buy some watermelons? And this is, looking and seeing, it's like, is it ripe? Is it good? Is it going to be sweet? You can answer all those questions for people, and they bought them. We were selling for $5 a piece. I know probably in the grocery store now, the unseeded ones are like 10 maybe, or 14 or more. But we had made money at the end of that day at sundown. We went back home. We counted up the money. Well, we went to our dad, told him how much it was. I counted it. My sister counted it. We made sure this was the amount. Well, he shared with us, it's like, the gas in my truck, it costs money. We saved money by not having the fertilizer for the crops, and we had to pay our dad off the top of that money for the gas that he used in his truck. He didn't charge us for his time, but it's like, oh my gosh, you're taking our money. No, we were actually paying our way. Those were the money lessons to do what we had to do. And so we split the money, my sister and myself, and we were able to buy like school clothes for the next school year. And then, of course, we saved some money. And there was one money lesson that I did have where I could have doubled my money. When my godfather came, he knew we had a dollar, me and my sister, and she gave her dollar. The deal was, you get $2 at the end of the week. Just give me your dollar. Well, I didn't let mine go. And of course, it reminds you of the talent, burying your talent. I buried my talent that week. She got $2 at the end of that week. I still had my $1. That was like the major money lesson in my life that really stuck with me for many, many years. My sister, as a result of that, she was always like a better saver than I was after that moment of disgust that I had and crying. And I want $2 just like she did, but I missed the opportunity. So I don't want you guys to miss any opportunities when it comes to saving money. That's why I do what I do. I want to share with you ways to understand the basics of money management. And understanding the basic of money management is very important. Knowing how much money is coming in, knowing how much money is going out. You don't want to have more money, more month than money. Of course, you don't want to have more month than money. So with it comes to your down to your cash flow, and then looking at, well, what are your monthly expenses? It's basic budgeting. And if you need a budgeting tool, I have a great tool for budgeting. You budget your actual expenses, and it tells you if you're in the red or if you're in the black at the end of the month. It's a super great tool that I have to share with you about understanding the basics of money management. And you can actually see in a spreadsheet where your money is going. Budgeting is the number one thing that you want to do when you know what your cash flow is. We can determine whether or not you need to look at opportunities to increase your cash flow, because there may be something that you're passionate about and that you're just giving it away that you could actually be able to profit from. And a lot of people during the last couple of years have really honed in on what they are good at. I'll never forget every Thanksgiving, I call my cousin up and order his white chocolate cake. It is so amazing. I pay him $35 to do this white chocolate cake. I pay him $35 to do this red velvet cake. I'm not good at red velvet cake at all, but I love to bake, but just not red velvet cake. But he tapped into his passion and he sends out information. So every Thanksgiving, he's making additional income. So the cash flow increases every holiday season for a lot of businesses. So I just want you to look at the opportunity. Is your cash flow enough? Are you on a fixed income? Is it enough? And if it's not enough, then we look at various ways to either downsize your debt, and we look at ways to increase your cash flow because as you can understand, and working with Janine, if you aren't happy in what you're doing now, she will definitely be able to set you up and get you on the right track, so that if you're not working that job that you want to work and you want to work a different job, or you want to work into your passion, just look at go back to Janine and get part and take part in her coaching program, and you will be able to realize that you can have more cash flow. So, secondly, we look at the debt management. So, look at how much debt you have. Well, we really tap into, how did you come about having that debt? Was it due to your spending habits? Was it due to, oh gosh, I really need that dress? Was it due to just consciously or subconsciously? It's like, well, I'm feeling down today. I'm just going to go out and go shopping. So it's like, oh, man, sometimes you just rack up that credit card just from emotional spending. So we tap into, are you spending emotionally? Do you have emotional spending habits? Or was it just that real family emergency that where you needed to spend money? So we look at all of that. So you really want to understand like the basics of why you spent this money and how you got arrived at having this type of debt. Was it something that needed to happen, or was it due to emotions? And so then we tap into that, and we just see where you are with that, and put it in a spreadsheet to where the computer tells us, you want to pay this one off first. This is how much you contribute to it based on your cash flow. And then you're able to now move on and move forward to keep to that commitment and be disciplined in downsizing that debt management and managing your debt. So it's called a debt planning program. So downsizing your debt, it takes having a plan. And then thirdly, you look at all of your dreams, your goals, your desires, and having an emergency fund. So you want to set up your emergency fund, and like some households, they wouldn't be able to handle a $400 emergency. So we look at, well, how much money do you need to save for what period of time to have that emergency fund? It's super important to have an emergency fund. I know my husband just shared with me they increased the credit card limit, and he's like, well, yeah, that's great because we'll just use that for emergencies. But not all the time do you want to have your credit card used for emergencies. You want to have the cash on hand and available. So there's two options that people do use for emergency funds, and those are the two options. And I do recommend the cash option, to have the liquid cash, and because we're always able to build it back up, versus paying the interest on a credit card if you were have to use that. So it's various different ways to create your emergency fund, but these are the ways to understand the basics of money management. Is it something that is urgent? And what constitutes an emergency? You wanna look at that. I'll never forget growing up, and I moved away from Missouri to Georgia. My sister had passed away, and my dad, he had emergency fund, and he was able to pay cash for her funeral. And so when you look at, it's like, oh my gosh, emergency funeral, yes, an emergency funeral. We didn't have GoFundMe back in that day, but at the end of the day, he did have money set aside, not for that purpose specifically, but it was utilized for that purpose, and he was able to ensure that his child had a good funeral service. And that brings me to why I share this with people and why it's important for me to share with people to understand the basics of money management and having money when a rainy day comes. And of course, with some people, we had a rainy 2 years. So you definitely want to be prepared for the unexpected. It's super important to be prepared. And so I love helping families get to that point to where you can see, even though it's an intangible benefit today, it may prove to be tangible in the future. So you want to always be prepared. And so I that leads me to the next step in money management. You want to look at the um, the next step is the proper protection. Having the proper protection to make sure that your family is taken care of in case something were to happen. And, saving the money, saving the right amount of money to have it for the future. If something were to happen to a loved one, then if you have a house and there is a house payment, then you want to have enough money for the proper protection to pay that house off in full so that you can live, debt free. So there are various ways to build wealth, and saving money is one of the number one ways for building wealth. And preserving the wealth, it takes on having the proper legacy planning. And there are some people in Denise's community that I will recommend that you get back with her to find out about who are the people who can help you with creating the trusts that you need to make sure that your assets are properly moved to your family members. That's all about legacy, and legacy matters because if you're sitting on an asset right now today and you want to pass it on to your children and to make sure that it stays in the family, you definitely want to make sure that the proper information is in place for that. So it's very important also to build a wealthy mindset. You know, I can't say that enough. Building a wealthy mindset, and wealth comes in different ways. Um, it comes in the wealth that you have with money, but then it's also the wealth with your family, the wealth of love, the wealth of having those special moments that you can spend, that time that money can't place on the time that you spend with your loved ones. The wealth of time is more important in some people's mindset, and I will share my mindset. The wealth of that quality time is better than the wealth of money. But then how can you have that quality time and not have money? So you just look at what's important to you. You look at your value system. Your beliefs are the seeds that create your reality. Your beliefs affect your thoughts, affects your actions, and ultimately create your life circumstances. So it may be great to spend the time in the office and overtime in the office, and then you basically sacrifice time with your loved ones, but you have to measure that and you have to see, it's like, is it really worth it in the end? Because wealth comes from different places, not it's not just money. It's also your time and sharing those moments with your loved ones. And changing the beliefs can be the most powerful way to alter your life, to look at, what's important to you. Building your self confidence, knowing how to process information, to know that, hey, am I going to sacrifice these moments or am I going to make up this time later? but your beliefs create limits. It's if you believe that you'll never be wealthy, you're right. If you believe that you can stick to a budget, then you're right. If you believe you can't stick to the budget, you're right too. So, either way, it's important to change your beliefs to the viewpoints that support rather than limit you. Your beliefs affect your results. Your mindset is very important to know that if you want to have money in retirement, that it's possible for you to maybe sacrifice today to have a better lifestyle in the future. And if you choose not to sacrifice today, then your lifestyle is going to look a little different in the future. So if you're unlikely to save and learn from your what choices that you make, it's really rooted in your choices and in your belief system. And if you want to have something tomorrow, then you have to say, I'll work really hard to make a lot of money. Making a lot of money will cut into my free time. Some people think I already have enough money. I'm good. Some people, I don't need a budget. But then some people's like, yeah, I need a budget. That's not in my budget to do that. So we want you to look at opportunities where your money can equal your freedom. You know, Making more money will not solve all of your problems, but looking at what's important to you and what's important to your family because legacy matters is what I would like for you to consider and taking the time to just write everything down and write down what you value, what's important to you. Write it down. Address your beliefs, being the most effective way to create the financial future that you desire. And if you have a spouse, if you have children, have the conversation with everyone. It's very important to look at the opportunity to have the conversation about building a wealthy mindset with everyone because then when you transfer those assets to your loved ones, then they're going to have that mindset to make sure that they hold on to that and live the Proverbs 13:22 life, of um, a good man leaving an inheritance for their children's children. So, most importantly, to build a wealthy mindset, you want to budget. You want to make sure that your income isn't more than what your bills are. You want to have an emergency fund. You want to have a small amount of debt and, just look at, whatever debt that you do have that it really makes sense to have that debt. Yeah, I know we needed some new windows for the house. And it's like, oh gosh, do we really have $60,000 saved in the budget or do we need to take a loan out on the 60,000 to get new windows and gutters for the home? So those are things to weigh. But then the value of the home will be more once we get all of this work done. So we just looked at all of those opportunities and we saw that yeah, we're going to go ahead and finance this versus using the emergency fund. So controlling your spending is very important and saving, I can't say so much about that. In my book, how money just flew out the window. Saving money is one of the biggest things that I talk about all throughout the book is the importance of saving because then your money won't be going out the window. So just looking at the opportunity now to leave a legacy for your family. There's trust funds that people think about. But when you go and look at the hotel, for instance, the Hilton, the Rockefellers, the Vanderbilts, all of these names, all of the brand names, when the different millionaires, football players, basketball players, baseball players are out there on the field, they all have a name on the back of their shirt. And you're buying that shirt with someone else's name on it because it's so exciting. They're a really great player. They do really great things. But have you ever considered buying your own jersey? Buying that shirt with your name on the back because you are in that status of what really matters. It's like the legacy that you want to leave for your family. You've seen those movies where the patriarch and the matriarch and the people who've actually are the you look up to with their photo oil painting over the mantle of the focal point when you enter into the room above the fireplace. It's like, oh, that was Grandpa Pulley. And you want to look at that opportunity. It's like, hey, this was my grandpa, and this is why we have this empire because of that person, because he lived a Proverbs 13:22 lifestyle to say, hey, I want to leave a legacy for my children's children and generations to come. So please look at the opportunity of it's like, what is the legacy you want to leave for your family? Is the question that's been asked. You want to ask yourself that question. What is the legacy that you want to leave for your family? For my grandfather, he was a man who worked in the fields and he worked for someone else, as they say in the sharecroppers. But at one moment, he woke up and said, hey, I want to own my own land. He says 100 acres is what was available at that time. And then my dad, he says, my father, he bought 100 acres. I want to buy 100 acres too. So there's like now 200 acres of land that my grandfather and my father is passing on to their children's children. And what's the legacy that you want to leave? In their case, they're leaving a legacy of land. And they're not making any more land, y'all. But when you look at what you are about and what you want to accomplish in this world, you are instilling value system in your loved one. And that value system is important. That value system of understanding the basics of money management, that value system of building a wealthy mindset, that's the legacy that you want to leave with your family. The importance of having something for a rainy day, the importance of planting a seed and watching it grow and building upon the foundation of having a solid financial foundation for you and your family. So look, go, get my book, Money Just Flew Out the Window: How to Create a Relationship with Wealth Living from Paycheck to Paycheck. There are other books that I can definitely, recommend. There's tools that I give to you for free. There's an opportunity also where I will be presenting Legacy Matters: How Money Works. So, if you want to learn a little bit more about the 7 money milestones for creating wealth, you'll end up getting a certificate after you attend my workshops. They're absolutely free. But then, if you want to sit down with me and say, hey, I want that legacy that you're talking about. I want to leave something for my family. I have a young child that I want to make sure that, they have money for college. I want to have, and you may not have it now, but it's something that you aspire to do. We have those conversations. It's like, I want to take my family on a vacation to Brazil or to Antarctica or Alaska or somewhere in a beautiful island. But let's plan for it. Let's see if it really fits in your money plan, in your cash flow. And, I'm not saying that you can't have these things. I'm saying, hey, let's plan for it so that when you have it, you can cherish those moments with your family and with your loved ones to just have the best memory and the best time of your life. And in preparing your family, of course, I mentioned that earlier, to receive your assets, you definitely want to seek the advice of an attorney. I'm not an attorney, so I'm a licensed professional, however, not an attorney. So look into Deneen Merriweather's community and seek the advice of attorney so that you can properly pass on those assets to your family and to your loved ones. And then also, thank you, Tiffany. Legacy does matter. Learn the value of time and the value of your money, because you can't replace the moments of time that you spend with your family. Sometimes some things do take money to do so, some things do not. I'll never forget the value that I instilled in my nephew. I took him, and I had my sister who passed away, I mentioned earlier. She had 5 children. I would take them on and spend the weekend with them and step in and show them something different. And I would take them to watch the planes land. And watching the planes land didn't cost me anything, but it opened up their mind to know that, oh my gosh, wonder, to dreaming, to saying, hey, where did this plane come from? Where would you like to fly to? And to this day, my nephew, he takes his children to go watch the planes land. And it's just amazing opportunity that you can not only instill the time and the quality and plant those seeds in your young people, and so that they would know that legacy matters. So that little legacy is going to continue on. It's like their children will take their children to go watch the plane land. So leaving a legacy is more than just money. Leaving a legacy is your heart, it's your soul, and it's all of the value systems that you have to share with your loved ones. That is what your legacy will be. When that person looks at that picture at the top of the mantle, they're going to look and see it's like, hey, that's someone who did not know me, but they cared enough about me to make sure, that I was going to have a great start in life, and I was going to start from a place that no one has ever been able to start from before. And so I just want to share that with you guys. It's um, been a pleasure to share these different points with you. I'd love to share more with you. And just know that legacy does matter. And what you're doing today is creating the legacy for your family, for your future. And legacy does matter. So save your money, protect your money, grow your money, and create that opportunity for your family to live a life that they truly love. And as I always say, be, do, and have the greatness that you desire because the greatness is in you. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, Janelle. Yay. Thank you for the information. Look, you guys, I dropped inside of the chat the link in order for you to be able to purchase the book. Money just flew out the window. This was the same book that she offered during the 12 days of Christmas. So I definitely want to make sure that it's in your hands. People are enjoying it. Like I said, they had a lot of questions and definitely wanted her to come back to this community to share some additional information on how to get your money together, how to actually plan to leave a legacy, because legacy, it does matter. So thank you so much, Janelle, for being here. Thank you so much for sharing.
And
Look, you guys,
thank
share the
you.
video, share the video, share the video. Coming up next. Come on now. Now, next, we have another one of the amazing people inside of this community, Pamela Hempstead. She's going to teach you how to love the one you with, okay? She's going to teach you 3 keys, 3 ways to love yourself the right way, right? And I don't want you to miss that conversation, because we think that self-love is not important, and getting proper rest and taking care of your mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual health. But it is important, and it needs to be at
Yes.
the top of your radar screen, because you can't make money if you ain't healthy. You can't make money if the mind ain't right, because ain't nothing gonna be clicking. So just make sure that you learn how to love yourself, right? Love the one you with, and the person that you with the most is you. So look, coming up at 2:00 p.m. Pamela's going to be in the house. Look, she's already in the chat. Come on, somebody. Let's go. Yes, I am ready. We are ready for that conversation. Thank you again, Janelle, for
Oh,
an
you're
amazing
welcome, Janine.
conversation. Thank
Thank
you. Thank
thank you. And
you.
does anyone have any questions? I know that there was a couple of questions that kind of popped up, and I just want to make sure that I answered everyone's question that may have had one. If there was any out there, I saw a
So if they
couple
have a
of them.
question, how can they reach out to you? Where would you like them to reach out to you?
Okay. Well, if you have a question, you can reach out to me. You can send me an email directly at jpulley@gmail.com. That's my best email is J like Juliet, P like Papa, Ulley agency@gmail.com.
Okay.
Or
So
you can call, I guess you can
Janelle,
call
go ahead,
me.
put it in.
Mhm.
Go ahead and type that information inside the chat. Can you type it? Can you see the comment section? Or you could put it in the private chat
Comments.
and I can copy and paste. I want to make sure that you guys have the information, especially if you have questions and you're not able to put, let's say, maybe some of those questions have or include sensitive information or information that you don't want to put here on the screen. And I want to make sure that you're able to connect with her and get the information that you need, because that's the whole point of having these conversations. It's my anniversary. It's an opportunity for us to pour into you, to make sure that you have what you need to have the future that you're planning for, and to make sure that you have the legacy in your life and in your family lives that you want. Okay, I got this
Mhm.
email address. I'm going to go ahead and drop it here
And
inside the chat. Thank you so
And
much for
Denise, I want to say thank you so much for passing on your family's vision. What you're doing now in 5 years in business, you are definitely creating a vision for your family and passing on your family's vision.
Oh,
So you're
thank you.
creating a legacy that matters. So congratulations.
Ah, thank you. Thank you. I'm so excited. Yes, I love to actually watch my girls watch me, right? I don't know if you've seen this, but maybe like a couple of years, maybe it was beginning of the pandemic or before the pandemic, my daughter was sitting in my chair mocking hello, 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 right? And I was, and maybe she even said like, "This is Denise Merriweather," or she says something, but she was sitting in my chair, was like, "Hello, hello, hello," and I was like, "Do y'all see this monster I'm creating?" Right? She's just being so
Hey,
comfortable in being herself on screen in front of a camera because we know that these things are not going away. Right? This is exactly
right.
the wave of the future, how business will be done and how things will be done in our community. So hopefully she will be able to continue to be comfortable here on screen and doing what it is that she loves to do when she gets older. So look, inside the chat, thank you again, Janelle, for being here.
Thank
Thank you so
you.
much for encouraging me to continue to do, because I know that my kids are watching and I am creating a legacy for my family. Look, you guys, join me here 2 o'clock. It's 1:36. Go grab you something to drink, maybe even something to eat, but we back and loaded in a couple of minutes. Look forward to seeing you then. Thank you again, Janelle.
You're welcome. Thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate it. Have a great
No
one,
problem.
Denise.
Thanks.
Enjoy your anniversary.
Thank you.